Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening, everyone. We are learning about Nibbāna. Nibbāna is the total cessation of lobha dosa moha. If you can extinguish lobha dosa moha, you will experience the bliss of Nibbāna. So today we will learn another aspect of Nibbāna using one sutta from Udana Pali. Udana. Chapter 8, sutta number 4. Chapter 8, sutta number 4. Actually, I didn't send out this sutta because it's very short. Then I will use PowerPoint. Independent. Singapore is independent country. So Singapore doesn't need to rely on any country to decide something, right? But earlier, you cannot decide, right? You cannot decide. So actually, the word independent is very beautiful, very beautiful. So actually, I like to teach these suttas. People are always dependent on the object. With the craving, is the most important one. With the craving and wrong view, so therefore they are not independent. So actually, according to commentary of Udana Pali, then I use two terms, craving and wrong view. But of course, everything based on the craving, then wrong view as well. So I say, people are always dependent on the object. So we find our happiness, something we see, right? If that object is disappear in front of our eye, then our happiness is shaking. So we are not independent. Then we want to hear a beautiful song, pleasant songs. We want to hear a song that praise you. You don't want somebody is blaming you. Normally, our happiness is dependent on what we hear, what we eat, what we smell, and what we touch. So actually, we are always dependent on the object. So of course, as a human beings, we have to depend on the object, as we have a 6 internal basis. That is, we have to depend on. But we have to know the nature of dependent and the nature of independent. If your happiness is dependent on a person, your happiness is vulnerable. If that person maybe dying, or if that person change to the way you don't like, your happiness disappear. If your happiness depend on the food, that's also, the food. We cannot get a good food all the time. Even the food is very good, if your tan is not good, right? If you grow old, then your happiness is gone. Even though the food is good, even though the food is extremely good, If you grow old, you cannot eat. And if you have a certain diseases, like a diabetes, you cannot eat. So we have to, if you depend on many objects, then your happiness is likely to, impermanent. So for that reason, we have a lot of bindings. We depend on many things. We depend on the people. We depend on the object. We depend on the place. Therefore, we are not independent. But here, we depend on something with the craving, and wrong view. So if you do not have a craving, if you have a right view, even though you are dependent on the object, a person, your happiness will not be destroyed. So that's very important part here. In Udana Pali, so the Buddha expresses the nature of Nibbāna using the word anisita. Anisita means independence or freedom or liberation. Independent. And I think let's go to the sutta and then I will explain. Very beautiful sutta. So this is the fourth discourse connected with the Nibbāna. In Udana Pali, chapter 8, we have 4 suttas that talk about the nature of Nibbāna. So we will study 3 suttas today. Then I hope you will understand the meaning of Nibbāna from different dimension. So this is another dimension that talk about the nature of Nibbāna. Independent, anisita. The Buddha is talking to the monks. For the dependent, nisita, there is agitation, chalita. There is wavering. There is shaking. There is instability. For the dependent, there is agitation. There is instability. If you rely on a person, you are not independent. For that reason, your existence is not stable. That's very beautiful sutta. Very beautiful sutta. So last week we talked about jhanas, right? The more we can reduce, depend on the object, the more we will be stable. The more our happiness will be stable. So those who attain jhanas are stable, their happiness are stable, their happiness is stable because they reduce relying on the object that come from 5 physical doors. So they are independent regarding on the object that come from 5 physical doors. So when they are meditating, when they attain jhana, they do not see, they do not hear, they do not taste, and they do not touch, and they do not smell. So they are not relying on the object that come from 5 physical doors. So what they rely on, what they depend on is only one door, the object that comes from mind doors. But stay dependent, but he can reduce the amount of reliance on the object from the 5 doors. For that reason, their happiness is stable. So they can meditate for many hours. So when they attain jhana, they can experience the bliss of happiness. But of course, in previous sutta, the Buddha said that the more we can reduce the amount of vedana or feeling, we are closer to Nibbāna. So that means the more you can reduce the context to the object, or feeling or Vedana to the object, so your happiness is stable. The more you can reduce the amount of, dependent on the object, the more your happiness will be stable. I think that is very important. So some people, so their happiness depend on many objects. They want to see good things. They want to see movie, right? And they want to go to see very beautiful places. So in that way, of course, it's happiness. Happiness, the sensual happiness, right? Sensory happiness. But some people want to listen music, and they find happiness by listening music. So they depend on the object. Some people like food. They go to many places to enjoy food, right? By eating food, they get happiness. Then some people want to get a good smell. Some people want to have a good touch. So in this way, they got happiness. Of course, this is a sensory happiness. In Nibbāna Sukha Sutta, the Buddha said, this is a Kama Sukha, sensory happiness. Happiness that comes from senses. So, the more you rely on many objects, you are not, the more you are, unstable, unstable, agitated. So if the object is not the way you like, then your happiness is gone. So here, for the dependent, there is agitation. For that reason, the monks are advised not to enjoy sensory happiness. So we don't have to see the movie, we don't have to listen to music, and we don't have to choose the food, and we are not allowed to smell a good perfume, not allowed to get married, even to touch opposite sex or the lady, not allowed. So the Buddha advised to the monks not to depend on many senses, many objects. For that reason, if we can detach from the senses, then our happiness is more stable. Our happiness is more stable. At least we are not agitated. People think that the life of a monk is boring because not much enjoyment. So of course, this is there's not much sensory happiness, but we can get happiness through the mental doors, right? Mental doors. So here, the Buddha said that for the dependent, there is agitation, there is wavering. In other words, there is instability. But last week we talk about example of a cup, right? Then I hold a cup, holding, Actually, my hand is depend on the cup. For that reason, shaking, the cup is shaking. The cup is depend on the hand, shaking. Then I put it in the chair, on the chair. No more holding, no more dependent. For that reason, it's getting stable. But yeah, the point is, the more you depend on many objects, the more you are agitated. That is very advanced level, right? Very advanced level. So for that reason, in Buddhism, when you are meditating, music is not allowed because it agitates. It will make you agitate. Then you have to take a precept. You are not allowed to see movie. So we trying to restrict, right? Rely on the object. So at least when you are meditating at the meditation retreat, you rely on only mind, You close your eye, then you practice meditation. So here, the more we can reduce, depend on the object, then the more we are stable. So just look at the one who attain jhanas. So they are not dependent on the object that comes from 5 physical doors. So they just depend on only one object that comes from the mind door. For that reason, their state of mind, their happiness is stable, not agitated much. But of course, only you attain Nibbāna, then you will have no agitation. Your mind is not shaking anymore. For the independent anisita, there is no agitation, there is stability. If you do not independ on anything, then there is a stability. So Singapore is an independent country. To decide something, it doesn't need to depend on any country, right? Any country. So for that reason, it is stable. We have a stability. So as I earlier said that, when you can reduce the amount of independence on something, you're likely to stable. Don't depend on your partner too much. So here, depend on me, depend on with craving, craving. Even though you see something, if there's no craving, you are independent. You are independent. Even though you hear unpleasant sound, if there's no hatred, you are independent from that sound. Even though you are eating unpleasant food, if you do not have any dislike or hatred, you are independent. Your mind is liberated from hatred. But here, for that reason, the commentary said that. But here, dependent on something with the craving. Forget about wrong view. So I think for that reason, Nibbāna is cessation of craving. If there's no craving, you are independent, or you are free. You're free. Even though you are living among the people, you are just like a lotus flower, free from mud and unclear water, right? For the independent, there is no agitation. In other words, for the independent, there is stability. If you do not depend on anything, you will have a stability. When there is no agitation, when there is a stability, there is calm. You have a calmness or serenity. So when there is calm, there is no inclining or no bending. Actually, this is a nati. It's a how to say the anati. Sorry, I forgot. Anati, not nati. No inclining, no bending me, anati. Anati is another name for Nibbāna. There's no bending, there's no inclining. So actually the commentary said that bending is another name for craving. Because of craving, you've been to many objects. You've been to three existences. I think you still remember Nibbāna originations. If you have a craving, you have a clinging, right? If you have a clinging existence, the clinging, craving, and clinging are especially the clinging, upadana. The clinging is the source or the cause of bending to new existence, right? If there's no clinging, if there's no craving, your mind will not bend to any object, any existences. So that will be the end of samsara. That will be the end of samsara. So actually, I think these suttas are very, very difficult, and we need to understand based on the commentaries. So actually, the commentary said that bending, natimi, another name for craving. So because of craving, your mind bent to three existences, one of the existences, or your mind bent to many objects. But here, bending, inclining. So when you die, if you have a craving, if you have a clinging, your mind will bend to another existence. In that way, you will have new existence. So as you have an existence, you have a path. And as you have because of path, then aging and death. Because of aging and death, sorrow, lamentation, etc. Right? So this is dependent origination. So I think to explain something, especially regarding with the Nibbāna, you need to understand dependent originations. Otherwise, you will confuse. So actually, the dependent origination is very important. So if you are not quite clear, then you try to listen, trying to learn dependent originations. Otherwise, very difficult to understand. Here, bending, right? Bending is another name for craving, another name for upadana, clinging. So if you have a craving, your mind will cling to, your mind will bend to new existence. In that way, then you will have a rebirth, a new life. When there is no inclining, when there is no bending, there is no coming and going. There's no coming and going. This is a, conventional terms to talk about death and birth. So when you die, you come to this life, right? It's coming, it's birth. Then going, then you die, you go to another. That's a conventional terms. For that reason, actually, I didn't write the note. We can, the commentary of Udana mentioned this one. Actually, these are very subtle point of the discourses. Nibbāna, Prit-Sanyoda. The discourses connected with the Nibbāna. So there's no coming to new life, and going to other existence. So when there's no coming and going, there's no passing away and rebirth. Here also, conventional terms, passing away and rebirth. When there is no passing away and rebirth, there is no here or hereafter. Hear me in this life, hereafter, next life, or in between the two. Commentary said that, Theravada commentary said that both life, right? That is this life or next life. But this is a technical term. In between the life. Sorry, this is a controversial terms. In between the two life. So for that reason, people say that intermediate life, right? Intermediate life. This life and next life, there is another life in between. So later I will discuss in later part. Not right now, because we're talking about Nibbāna. Otherwise, it will divert, our flow of speech will divert to another dimension, another directions. So here, what the Buddha want to say is, when there is no passing away, if there is no rebirth, there's no this life, no afterlife. If there is a life in between, also no. Just this is the inter-suffering. The inter-suffering, cessation of suffering. What is cessation of suffering? Nibbāna. Nibbāna. Cessation of suffering, dukkha nidora, right? Dukkha nidora is a Nibbāna. This is Nibbāna. That's Nibbāna. So your 5 aggregate, your 6 senses extinguish in this very life. That's Nibbāna. The inter-suffering. So actually I like this sutta because it talk about the nature of Nibbāna. If you do not depend on something, the object, with the craving, you are independent. Normally we are not independent because we rely on many objects, especially many outside objects. We find happiness based on those objects. If those objects, every object, are impermanent, if they change or if they die, then our happiness is gone because we are not independent. Even though we see, we hear, and we taste, we smell, we touch, we think, if there's no craving in our mind, in other words, if there is no lobha, dosa, moha, we are independent. Even though you see unpleasant people, your mind is free. Your mind is independent. Your happiness is not destroyed. Even though you hear unpleasant sound, you are not unhappy because of that. Because you don't have a craving. In other words, you don't have a hatred or dislike toward the song you hear. So you are independent. Actually, that independence is nothing but the nature of Nibbāna. So when you experience those objects, there is no craving in your mind. There's no lobha, dosa, moha in your mind. For that reason, you are stable. For the independent stability, right? Stability, I mean your happiness. People are agitated in their work because they have a lot of craving, right? A lot of craving. But craving here means 2 aspects. Like and dislike. 2 aspects. Lobha and dosa, right? Lobha and dosa. In other words, 3 aspects. Lobha, dosa, moha. So these are for that reason, total cessation of craving is Nibbāna. Cessation of suffering. If there's no craving, there will be no suffering at all. I think very beautiful sutta. As a human beings, of course we have to rely on many objects. We are associating with the people. We have to eat, we have to smell, we have to touch. But here, dependent on those objects with the craving, right? So actually the commentary beautifully defines the meaning of anicca. You are independent because you don't have a craving and wrong view. Even though you experience outside object, if there's no craving, you are independent. You're free, right? You're stable. Your happiness is stable. Normally, our happiness does not last long, because we are not independent. We have a craving, So the most important thing is craving here. Craving. Trying to understand what is craving. Okay, any question? Okay.
Bhante, I'm trying to understand. Music lover.
Music lover.
You love music.
Okay.
Music becomes a factor that you're dependent on.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
The song.
So, for someone in lay life, that is, all right, not a monastic,
Yeah.
not a monk,
Yeah.
but a person who really loves things associated with the senses, and music, sound is just one of them.
Yeah.
So, my question to you is that, is it really possible within the lay community for a lay person to actually abandon, to dissociate from everything that comes from the senses? You know, in other words, those of us who derive happiness from music, etc.
Okay. In the Posa Soda from Anguttara Nikaya, lay people, the Posa, taught to Venerable Ananda. So there is a distinction between lay person and monastic. It's a renunciation. So the monks or monastic have to renounce. And he also said that renunciation is for them a precipice for a lay person. But of course, the word renunciation, you have to renounce the object that will make you attach or crave. That is, the purpose of monastic life. But of course, as a lay person, very difficult. For that reason, Upasaka, Taposa taught to Venerable Ananda. Renunciation is just like a precipice, right? Very deep click. Precipice, right? Precipice for them. Yeah, it's very dangerous, honestly, very fearful, frightening for them. So, it's not as a lay person of God, as you're living with the family, as you're living in the society, difficult. But don't forget that we are learning, advanced teachings, the discourses that are connected with the Nibbāna. But of course, as a lay person, you can enjoy sensual pleasures, but it should be in righteous way. At least it should be a righteous way. You can depend on the sensual pleasures, but it should be in righteous way, not unwholesome way. Listening music will not make you, go into hell or unhappy destinations. But if you depend on music, then you cannot attain jhana. Because to attain jhana, a deeper level of concentrations, so you have to abandon the object that comes from five senses. Music, and the Buddha said that noise, the sound, it the tone for the jhana, tone, THONG, and tone, yeah, tone. A danger, The sound is the danger for jhana. In other words, sound or noise is the danger for meditation. If you cannot, keep up, enjoying music, you cannot meditate. So what I want to say is, But of course, enjoying music, it doesn't matter for lay person, but it will matter for monastics. Not allowed to listen music because it will define your mind. So in this way, you cannot meditate. You cannot meditate. But I think for that reason, in the four, how to say, the 8 precept. So one of the precept, you have to abandon listening music. So the reason is you're trying to reduce reliance on the object, the sound, right? The sound. So in this way, the more you can reduce reliance on the object, the more you are stable. Your happiness is stable. So for that reason, as a lay person, difficult, but if you want to attain jhana, if you want to attain Nibbāna, you have to abandon them gradually. Okay? Any question? Okay.
Bhante, if this is the case, what is Buddhism view in terms of looking at Buddhism songs, for example?
Buddhist songs, right?
Yes. Yeah, because it does exist in this life.
Okay, so I think it's very.
And then the second one is probably like, because the attachment to the sounds, like is that okay? Like someone meditate with the background of, say, the sounds of parita or sutra, because sutra is also a form of sounds to the ear.
Okay, it's a very good question. Actually, first of all, the parita are not the song. Chanting is not a song. But of course, if you chant like the way the lady from Umi, no? It looks like a song, right? But in chanting, you have to make it very simple. So actually in that way, but of course you can listen to those chantings, but you cannot listen to the music. So actually the music, as a monastic, breaking the Vinaya rules. But as a normal Buddhist, it doesn't matter. You can even listen to rock music like this, you can listen. But regarding with the Buddhist songs, if we look at from top-down view, from Nibbāna point of view, it's not good. But of course, we are normal people. We can listen. Of course, Buddhist songs are much more better than other songs. But you cannot listen at the meditation center. For that reason, meditation center, they were not allowed any music, even the Buddhist music. So, but of course, to attract the public, Buddhist songs will help us just to draw the people to the temple, monasteries. It's good, but when you want to attain Nibbāna, when you are going to practice the Noble Eightfold Path or meditation, you even have to abandon Buddhist songs. So everything, I think, we have to understand different level, right? Different level. For normal Buddhist songs will help you, to have a more faith in the Triple Gem. It will help you, especially in Sri Lanka. There are a lot of Buddhist songs. So they are very soothing, very good to listen. When you visit Wisate in Sri Lanka, you will hear a lot of Buddhist songs. So even we do not understand the language, we can experience a very blissful feeling, regarding with the Buddhist songs. So they are very good at writing those songs. Even the monks, they are composing Buddhist songs. they are not supposed to do that. But anyway, this is a basic level. So listening those Buddhist music, the Buddhists, they come to temple and they understand the life of the Buddha, and they understand teachings of the Karma. So these are the very basic. But when you want to attain Nibbāna, when you're going to practice meditation, no. Question? Okay, more question. Sorry, cannot. Is there any microphone? Can you use microphone?
Anyway, we can't stop like sound from coming in, like MRT track that just passed through. So isn't that, it's almost impossible to isolate ourselves so that there's no sound, no five senses, object that comes in? Shouldn't we use that as a object of meditation? Because I've gone through some meditation, they ask us to use that as an object. So just treat sounds as sound and not be affected, by it. Would that be one way to look at it? Because a lot of time we cannot stop how the environment is outside.
Okay, very very beautiful question. We cannot avoid, listening song. You cannot avoid seeing something. But here, the nature of this soda is independent. So I say, when you attain jhana, then your mind is independent from 5 objects that come from 5 physical doors. So for that reason, your state of mind is more stable. But of course, as a human beings, so actually when you are living in daily life, we cannot avoid. We will see beautiful people, ugly people. We will hear pleasant sound, unpleasant sound, unavoidable. But here, for that reason, the commentaries say, with the craving, even though you see wherever, even though you hear wherever, don't take it with the craving. When you hear unpleasant sound, just know that as unpleasant sound. But there is another level, right? We are talking about based on the craving. But the mind is a monkey mind. So when we hear unpleasant sound, craving, automatically will arise. Very difficult. For that reason, at the meditation center, they trying to reduce the amount of object, The environment is very quiet. You will not hear unpleasant sounds. A lot of distractions. You will not have a lot of distractions. You will not see many unpleasant people. Right? No, what I mean is reduce to the maximum level, minimum level, minimum level. So what I want to say is, as a lay person, you can practice this soda as well, right? Suppose you are using a lot of luxurious things, right? Luxurious things. When the new thing comes, then you try to buy it, and you use it, right? That is the way you depend on the object. So when you can reduce the amount of spending those luxurious things, then there will be less agitation or more stability in your life. For those who love to eat a good food, right? Then you can try to reduce. That is possible. For those who are listening music all the time, then you can reduce. So actually, for that reason, the more we can reduce the amount of, independent, dependent on the object, our mind will be more stable. That is what the Sutta said. But of course, it's unavoidable as a human beings. So there will be the object will come to our senses, but don't take it with the craving. That is the most important part. Okay, I think that is very beautiful Sutta. Trying not to depend on many things, right? Okay, so another one. This is the first discourse connected with the Nibbāna, Pathama Nibbāna Patisanyutta Sutta. Actually, 4 suttas connected with the Nibbāna. This is the first one. So the first discourse on Nibbāna. There is means that base where is neither earth, nor water, nor fire, nor air. So these are 5 great elements, right? 5 great elements. But yeah, just look at each word. There is atti bhikkhave means that base ayatana. 6 base, the base, right? But here, if you look at this one, there is, that's a very important one, base and 4 great elements. So we have to look at commentary explanation. I think that's very important. Otherwise, it's very difficult to understand. Atti means there is. Unlike the concept, Panyati, Nibbāna really exists. So concept, actually there are a lot of concept, a lot of image in our mind. But these are concepts, they do not exist. Your mind created those concepts. The concept of a person, the concept of a thing, they do not exist. Your mind created them. For that reason, it's called concept. Nibbāna really exists. Not like a concept. Nibbāna really exists. It also indicates that it can be obtained as the ultimate reality. In Abhidhamma, we call it paramattha. Nibbāna is one of the ultimate realities. We have 4 ultimate realities. We have a consciousness and mental factor, and we have a material phenomena and Nibbāna. These, they really exist. They are ultimate realities. So, by using the word atti, commentary said that the Buddha want to say, Nibbāna really exists. There's no 4 great elements in Nibbāna. There's no 4 great elements in Nibbāna. There's no fire, no air, no earth, no water. These are 4 great elements. I think for those who do not understand 4 great elements, we will study when we are learning meditation. So these are four great element meditation. It's very important one. We try to analyze our body by way of 4 great elements. We'll learn in detail later. Nibbāna, there's no 4 great element. The commentary said that by saying the absence of 4 great elements, it is inferred that there is no any other material phenomena that derive from those four great elements. So actually, according to Theravada Abhidhamma, we have 28 material phenomena. 4 are four great elements. The rest, 24, they derive from four great element. If there's no four great element, there will be no other material phenomena. So that means Nibbāna, there is no four great element. For that reason, there is no possibility to existence of other material phenomena, because other material phenomena derive from four great element. That means Nibbāna really exists. Nibbāna is one of the ultimate realities. In Nibbāna, there is no four great elements. By saying there is no four great element, it implies that there is no any material phenomena. No any material phenomena. For that reason, you cannot go. You cannot see, with your eye. You cannot smell. There's no matter, smelling, seeing something, hearing, these are material phenomena, right? And also, it implies that there is neither sense sphere planes, Kama Loka, we have 11 sense sphere planes, nor 5 material sphere planes. So that means 5 material sphere planes. We have 65 material sphere planes in Nibbāna, because they are connected with the material phenomena. Actually, we can see the human being because we have a material phenomena. My eye, you, the sound, these are material phenomena. So by saying in Nibbāna there's no four great element, by saying that, so it implies that there is no sense sphere realms, because those sense sphere realms are connected with the material phenomena. If there's no material phenomena, there will be no human realm. There's no heavenly realms. There's no four woeful planes, because they are connected with the material phenomena. And also, it implies that there is no 5 material sphere planes, because 5 material sphere planes also connected with the material phenomena, right? Material phenomena. Nibbāna, there is no Kama Loka, no Rupa Loka. Kama Loka, Rupa Loka are connected with the material phenomena, matter, Rupa, right? Then the Buddha said that neither the base of the infinity of space, nor the base of the infinity of consciousness, nor the base of nothingness, nor the base of neither perception or non-perception. This talk about 4 arupa cheda, right? This talk about 4 arupa cheda. The commentary said that Nibbāna does not have the nature of immaterial sphere planes as well. Nibbāna is not immaterial sphere planes. Nibbāna even doesn't have such refined mental states. So these are the immaterial chetas. Actually, immaterial chetas are very refined ultimate realities. So the neither perception or non-perception, so subtle that it looks like there's no existence of mind, right? Nibbāna, even such a refined mental state, you cannot find. But here actually, the Buddha is talking about the nature of Nibbāna by using those terms. Nibbāna really exists. Nibbāna is one of the ultimate realities, number one. Number two, in Nibbāna, there's no four great element. By saying four great element, it implies that in Nibbāna, there's no any material phenomena, no matter. Then by saying there's no four great element, it implies that in Nibbāna, there's no the nature of Kama Loka and Rupa Loka, because they are connected with material phenomena. But the Buddha added another one, Nibbāna, there's no the nature of immaterial sphere planes. So that means in Nibbāna, there's no sphere planes. The Nibbāna is not a realms. Nibbāna is not a realms. It's a very subtle point. Neither this world nor another world. I think just look at the commentary explanation. So there are neither sense sphere nor fine material sphere nor immaterial sphere in Nibbāna. So in other words, we have 31 planes of existence, right? Nibbāna, there's no any planes at all. The commentary said that, moreover, Nibbāna also do not have any other realms, whether it is in this life or another life. Actually, in Brahmanism, in Hinduism, if you die in this life, your soul will reunite with the super soul. Then you will enjoy the bliss of Nibbāna in the kingdom of the God. Eternal blissed. But in Nibbāna, there's no realm in this life or next life. Everything extinguished, right? Extinguished. So actually here, neither this is a commentary explanation, commentary explanation. This is the Sutta. Neither this world nor another world. Neither sun nor moon. There's no sun, no moon. So actually here, the Buddha makes sure that Nibbāna is not a state of mind. Nibbāna is not a realm. Nibbāna is not a immaterial phenomena. Nibbāna really exists. Nibbāna is not a mental and physical phenomena, right? The Buddha makes sure, this is the way the Buddha speech, the Buddha gave it a talk. He went to make sure. Neither sun nor moon, but yet the commentary said that if there were material phenomena in Nibbāna, there will be the darkness. So being absence of material phenomena, there is no need to talk about sun or moon to illuminate. Actually, the Buddha makes sure that there's no material phenomena. No sun, no moon, no planes. And the Buddha said, here means I say there is no coming, no going in Nibbāna. No standing still, no passing away, no being reborn. It is not established on anything. Not established on anything. Not moving without support or without object. Very subtle point here. And for that reason, Abhidhamma will clarify your understanding, your doubt. So Abhidhamma will help you to understand. Later I will explain the explanation of commentary. Just this is the end of suffering. The end of suffering. This is Nibbāna, right? Cessation of suffering is Nibbāna. Here means I say there is no coming, no going. no standing still, no passing away, no being reborn. It's not established on anything, not moving without support or without object. Actually, the commentary said, there is no place and entity in Nibbāna. Therefore, the activities that mentioned earlier cannot take place. Nibbāna, there's no going, no coming, no being reborn, no standing, no sitting. Actually, this is the nature of the Suttas. The Buddha want to make sure that Nibbāna really exists. It is not a mental state, or it is not a material state. It exists its own. So there's no Nibbāna, there's no place and no entity. For that reason, all activities, all formations cannot take place. So that is the nature of Nibbāna. Actually, if you look at these suttas, it became complicated, right? I just teach because these are very famous ones. You must know it. As I earlier said that, if you know Nibbāna means total cessation of lobha, dosa, moha. That's all, that's all. If you don't have a lobha, dosa, moha, then your mind will be very peaceful, cool in your mind all the time. Even though you hear unpleasant sounds, even though you meet unpleasant people, doesn't matter. You are all the time independent. You experience the bliss of coolness. That's Nibbāna. Actually, very beautiful. When you learn Advaita Sutta, the fire metaphor, right? Fire metaphor. Lobha, dosa, moha are fires. They will make you hot. If there's no fire, then you will experience the bliss of Nibbāna, coolness of Nibbāna. Very simple, I think. But I think these suttas are very famous. For that reason, you need to know it. So, when I teach about Nibbāna in my previous batch, then I use explanation of a well-known scholar. He said that Nibbāna is a state of mind. A state of mind. He make a very great mistake. But of course, actually, he have a very, sharp and thorough understanding about teachings of the Buddha. But he make a mistake. So if we look at this sutta, Nibbāna is not a state of mind. Not even does not have the nature of immaterial consciousness. So immaterial consciousness are the most refined consciousness as far as Chitta is concerned. But Nibbāna is not a state of mind. So Nibbāna, no place, no entity. Then I think, the similar term should be happiness, right? Happiness. Can you see happiness? No, cannot see. In happiness, is there any place, entity? People say that if you come to temple, you will have happiness. Do you think that everyone will have happiness in the temple? No, happiness is not in the temple. Happiness is not in your job, in your family, in your house. It is a state, right? If all necessary conditions are met, happiness will display itself, right? So in Nibbāna, you cannot go to Nibbāna if all necessary conditions are met. Then you will experience the bliss of Nibbāna. So actually, the necessary conditions are nothing but total cessation of all fires, right? But in Advaita Sutta, 11 fires, right? 11 fires. Okay, any question? Okay, question here.
Hello.
Okay.
Bhante, if you reach a stage where everything is extinguished, like a fire extinguished, so my question is, who is experiencing Nibbāna?
Who is experiencing Nibbāna, right? So actually to see who is a wrong view, there's no who, there's no I, just material phenomena, mental and material phenomena, right? Mental and material phenomena. So that means mental and material phenomena, they are, how to say, they are rising, passing away in their own way. So, Arahant and the Buddha, they do not see as I experience. If you still have such a wrong view as I, you cannot experience the bliss of Nibbāna fully. Actually, according to Buddha, of course, it's very refined question, very, very difficult question. So, for that reason, we need to understand Nibbāna originations. So, when you understand Nibbāna originations, because of ignorance, sankhara arises. Because of sankhara, vijnana. Because of vijnana, namarupa. It's like this. These are mental and physical phenomena arises, right? There's no I, there's no passing. But of course, if there's no craving, if those craving totally extinguish, then you, of course, we use the word conventional term. It's very difficult, you know. You experience. Actually, there's no you. Just that you don't have a craving of fire. Then conventionally we use your experience, you know, your experience. Very difficult question and very set a point. Thank you. Question?
Bhante, based on this definition of what Nibbāna is, don't you think it's very, very difficult to be a Buddhist? Because I think it's really very, very difficult to achieve all that have been, shown on the slides.
Yeah. Actually, for that reason, the Buddha used the word Patisodagami, going against the order current. If you go with the flow, very easy, right? Very easy. Then you were, as you are living in Singapore, it's very, you will see that people are following easy way. They enjoy music, and in the religious centers, they use music to attract the people. Buddhism is not like those one. For that reason, the Buddha said that my teaching is just like a going against the water current. It's not, of course, it's not easy. It's not easy, but then if you have, understanding, a common sense, then you will value, you will make it, you will be very proud of being a Buddhist. Because, just think about the first one, the first one. Almost every religion, they believe creator God, right? God created everything. But you create your money, your own money, right? By working yourself. You create your money, and you make money by going to your company, right? By walking. Then you create your happiness by yourself. That's quite sure. That's quite sure. So Buddhist teachings are very simple. Very simple. So the Buddha is the most simplest and the most sincerest religious person, I would say that. Because he said that. He just showed the way. We have to walk on the path, right? It's quite truth. It's quite truth. You are rich because you do yourself. You are happy because you created that happiness by yourself. So I think if you just look at that simple causality, the nature of karma, we should proud of being a Buddhist. But regarding with the Nibbāna, as I earlier said, this is advanced teachings. So if you are looking at these advanced teachings through normal classes, I think it's very difficult to see, because normally we think that happiness can be achieved through the senses, by seeing something, by hearing something, right? But of course, this is a sensory happiness. But if you can achieve, greater happiness than that sensory happiness, right? Greater happiness than that sensory happiness. But of course, it's very difficult. It is just like going against the water current. For those who are educated, then I think people are getting more and more educated nowadays. So, especially in the West, in the West mean not America, Europe. Especially in the Europe, people are getting educated. People have more time to think about their life deeply. So they start to give birth, believe in Creator God. Not America. America is not stable yet. America is not stable yet. Europe getting stable, and there is more time to think about human problem. So I think they, at least, they start to abandon Creator God. So, but of course, many of them are very happy because they are educated, they have a common sense, right? So if they are not doing wrongly, then they will have a sensory happiness. But many of them are finding, a greater happiness with the help of meditation, mindfulness meditation. So as I earlier said that, as a Buddhist, even as a Buddhist, meditation is very difficult. For those who are meditating well, they will have a stable happiness, right? Even though they have a lot of disturbance in their life, a lot of problem in their life, they will be able to manage their life. So for that reason, I think Four Noble Truths is the greatest teachings, a greatest discoveries in Buddhism. So the Buddha used his teachings as a Patisotagami, going against the water current. Not really easy. You need a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and a lot of determination to do that. But if you go with the flow, very easy, very easy. Just go with the flow, People are going just with the flow, very easy. So, the 19th, if we have a common sense, I think you'll be actually not sorry to. I mean, what I mean is, if we have a understanding, such understanding, right, we'll be very happy. Even we cannot enjoy meditative bliss. At least we understand. We have such a profound teachings in Buddhism. Okay. Question?
Bhante, when you previously were talking about momentary Nibbāna, and you taught us about the extinguishing of the fire,
Yeah.
of craving, etc. It almost seemed possible for us to realize the bliss of Nibbāna.
Yeah, you're right.
But today, when you talk about renunciation
Yeah.
of everything to do with the contact with the five senses, it seemed almost that in normal life, other than being ordained and being a monastic, it is very, very difficult.
Yeah, I
Because-
agree on that.
Because it's really going against a very strong current.
You're right. Very strong. For that reason, the Posa, he said that this is a renunciation, is a great precipice for the lay person. Not easy. Actually, today Sutta talk about real Nibbāna, not momentary Nibbāna. But of course, the concept of momentary Nibbāna is very beautiful, very beautiful. Sometimes we see unpleasant people. There's no hatred in our mind. Peace, right? Full of understanding, full of loving kindness. Even though we hear unpleasant sound, there's no anger in our mind. No even slight irritation in our mind. At peace, right? At peace. That's momentary Nibbāna. So if we define the meaning of Nibbāna in such way, possible. But of course, today the matter is to talk about real Nibbāna. Real Nibbāna. I think for that reason, so the Buddha used many terms that talk about Nibbāna. Then I think next week we'll learn about all these terms. Next 2 weeks. Then next 2 weeks we'll finish Nibbāna topic. So then I think you will understand how definition of Nibbāna is difficult. Especially difficult to understand. The nature of our life is full of craving, right? Full of craving, full of like and dislikes. So it's impossible, it seems impossible to remove like and dislike. That's our problem. Because of like and dislike, a lot of problem. If you like, a lot of bias toward a person. If you don't like, also a lot of bias, You cannot see as they really are, as they really are. So our problems based on craving and like and dislike. But of course, you might think that there's, as a human beings, there will be at least like or dislike. But if you are arahant and the Buddha, you can remove like and dislike. You just see as they really are. Suppose somebody came to your house. If you like, then bias. If you don't like, also bias, If you don't have like and dislike, you see that person in their, based on their, true nature, true nature. If they are bad, I say bad. If they are good, as good. So I think this is the most subtle point. For that reason, we use a lot of suttas to explain the nature of Nibbāna. Okay.
Bhante, I think as householders, it is very difficult to, it is the habitual mind to have like and dislike towards objects that we have bias to. But I think it is possible to with mindfulness, really, and objectivity, honestly,
Yeah.
to at least have a neutral feeling towards, for example, a person that you see that you don't like. And then once you have that neutral feeling, then after that, go and solve the problem. Because as lay people, maybe not as monks, we have a lot more problems than you. Because
Yeah.
we have a lot of objects, we have a lot of labels in life. We are wives, we are children, we are landlords, everything. So after we have that neutrality, and I think it is possible to have that neutrality, then go back and solve the problem. Because for us lay people, the problem has to be solved.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. The second thing is, we are learning the academic definition of Nibbāna. You've given us many definitions, from the extinction of craving, to being cool, to the remainderless fading away of the lobha, dosa, and moha, to the fire sutta, etc. And then today we've learned something new also,
Yeah.
being independent of the object.
Yeah.
I think these are really, at the end of the day, academic definitions of Nibbāna that the thinking mind can never understand. So we just have to go back and practice, and one day, actually I'm quite sure, the answer will reveal itself, and you just realize that it will just pop up, honestly.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it will just pop up, and then you say,
yeah.
oh, so it's like that, and then your life just gets better and better.
Pachata Varitapa when you
Exactly.
the wise people can realize
Exactly.
themselves. But of course, now we are talking about Nibbāna. These are just conceptual and theoretical understanding. Not real Nibbāna, no? Not real Nibbāna. As I earlier said that we are going with the flow, with the craving, the craving. But Nibbāna is opposite, just total opposite. Without craving. Don't forget that craving have a different level, right? Different level. Actually, I have already talked about it. Okay, so thank you for all your questions, and it's very important to clarify teachings of the Buddha in especially Nibbāna. This is a Abhidhamma explanations. If you don't understand, just leave it, right? Don't feel stress. Mental object base, the objects of the mind. So in this sutta, Nibbāna is used as ayatana or base. So we have a 6, right? 6 base. I'm base, ear, nose, tongue, the body, and mind base. Nibbāna is among the 12 bases or 6 bases. It is the mental object base. Mental object base. So the mind, whatever you call it, consciousness or mental factors, the mind and Nibbāna are called nama. Nama. It has two meanings. Number 1, bending. Number 2, being bent. I will explain it then. So the mind works 2 ways. Number 1, the act of bending toward the object. You have your mind, suddenly, right now, your mind bent to your family, living at home. So that your mind bent to, inclined to your family. While you are studying here, your mind bent to your family, right? Inclined to your family. That is it, the nature of the mind. Then your mind bent to Amati sound, huh? Like this. So yeah, the nature of bending toward the object, right? Toward the object. Another one is, as an object being bended by another mind. Now you have a compassion toward a person. Compassion is a state of mind. Then you contemplate your compassion with another mind. So that compassion is bent by another mind. Another mind. It can be two functions, right? And bending toward the object, but it can be the object being bent by another object, right? Two functions. Nibbāna was only one way, as an object being bent by supramundane path and fruit consciousness. If you attain Magga and Phala, path and fruitions, then that consciousness bent to Nibbāna. It does not function bending to any objects. So that means Nibbāna really exists. If you attain Magga and Phala Cheda, so you are Cheda bent to Nibbāna object. So this is a difference between the mind and Nibbāna. Nibbāna is not a mind. Nibbāna does not bend to any object. It is an object bent by the mind, not normal mind, Magga and Phala. So that is actually a bit of my explanation. If you don't understand, it's okay. Sometimes it's difficult, you know. Okay, so today, actually we learn Nibbāna exists, number one. Nibbāna is not a place, an entity, like a, there's no 31 planes of existence. You cannot go to Nibbāna. There's no any activities in Nibbāna. Then we have to link with this Sutta. So in Rohita's Sutta, it's a very beautiful one to talk about the nature of Nibbāna, the nature of Four Noble Truth. Before we learn Rohita's Sutta, we need to understand three types of world. Number one, the world of beings. So we have a lot different type of beings: human beings, Deva, Brahma, animals, hellish beings. So these are the world of beings. Sattaloka. Beings, people, right? Living beings. Number two, the world of existence. We have a 31 planes of existence. Since sphere realms, 5 material realms, and immaterial realms. So these are the world of existence. Actually, in this Sutta, Bhikkhu Bodhi used the word stellar world, because there are a lot of stars, a lot of sun, moons, universe, galaxy, all these are stellar world, right? Okasa Loka. Human realm, that's Okasa Loka. 6 heavenly realms, Brahma realm, 4 over planes. So these are the world of existence. Number 3, the world of formation. The world of formation. Actually, these are the last one is very important to understand. Sankhara Loka. Sankhara. Actually, we are always learning Sankhara. Because the world of formation is nothing but we have a mental and physical phenomena. So according to Abhidhamma, we have 89 Cheda and 52 mental factors and 28 material phenomena. These are Sankhara Loka, the world of formations. Here, Sankhara means conditioned things. Sankhara means conditioned things. Not like Sankhara in Nibbāna originations. But here, Sankhara means conditioned things. Conditioned by many causes. Our body conditioned by many causes. Weather, food, and or the actions or other people, etc. Because of those conditions, our body change. Our mind also conditioned by many causes. Because of weather, our mind change. Because of food, and because of the mind itself. So these are our mind or all material phenomena. They are conditioned things, conditioned by many causes. So the Buddha said that whatever has the nature of arising, the nature of cessations. So material and mental phenomena arises and passes away. For that reason, it's called sankhara, sankhara loka, the whole of formation. Actually, first of all, you need to understand three types of world. Otherwise, you will not appreciate the teachings of a very beautiful suttas. This is a very famous one. Any question regarding with the three type of world? Okay.
Bhante, the world of beings, does it include animals or not?
Yeah, any type of beings.
Animals.
Yeah.
And the beings from the six realms, is it?
Any
Deva,
beings. Yeah, any beings from 31 planes of existence.
Peta also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Question? Okay.
Bhante, where is the natural world? The world of plants.
The wall of?
Plants.
Oh, actually, this is the wall of formation.
The world of
Formation. The plants are material phenomena. According to Abhidhamma, they are just matters. So they are conditioned. They are conditioned. Okay. Okay, then let's go to the suttas. The end of the world. Very beautiful sutta. Also very famous one. Iyan Deva called Rohitasa asked this question to the Buddha. This question to the Buddha. So I think instead of going to this sutta, then I will talk about the nature of Lokottara Cheda, I think. So I think it is linked with the three type of world, right? Otherwise, I think we cannot finish this sutta. So here, we have a three type of world, loka, right? Then we have 8 Lokottara Cheda. Lokottara, Loka Ottara, transcendental world. These are 4 Magga Cheda and 4 Phala Chedas. They transcend the 3 worlds. For that reason, they are called Lokottara. Only you have such transcendental consciousness, then you will be able to bend, your consciousness, your Magga and Phala Cheda will bend Nibbāna. Nibbāna is an object. Then only you will experience the bliss of real Nibbāna. Real Nibbāna. Momentary Nibbāna is not a real one. The moment you attain the bliss of jhana, also called partial Nibbāna, momentary Nibbāna, it's not a real Nibbāna. But of course, you can reduce the amount of violence, But only you attain consciousness that, transcends 3 type of world. That is called Lokottara Cheda, supra-mundane consciousness. Then only you will be able to experience the bliss of Nibbāna. So actually in Abhidhamma, Lokottara and also Nibbāna, also called Bhumi. Bhumi is plane, Nibbāna plane, or Nibbāna realm. You can still use it, but in another how to say, other definitions. So actually, normally we always say that I want to go where there is no sorrow, there is no unhappiness. Normally we always say, right? I want to go the place where there's no unhappiness, no sorrow, no suffering. Normally we always say like this, right? So there's not such a place. There's not such a place. There's no sorrow, lamentation, etc. As I earlier said that happiness is not a place. Happiness is a condition or a state or a base where you can experience, experience where if all the conditions you have. So here, Lokottara Bhumi, transcendental plane or place, we use because it's not a entity where you can go. It is a state that you can attain by removing all type of craving. 3 type of craving. Craving for sensual pleasures, number 1. So if you crave for sensual pleasures, you were reborn in the sensual, the sense sphere realm. So if you have a craving for 5 material jhana, if you have a craving for 5 material realm, then you will go to 5 material realm. That's another craving. If you have a craving for immaterial jhana, if you have a craving for immaterial realm, then you will go to that realm. But here, Nibbāna and 8 supramundane cheda, we can call it bhumi or realm or place. A place where there is no any type of craving. Just a metaphor, just a metaphor according to Abhidhamma. So 8 supramundane consciousness, they transcend 3 type of realm. So if you attain Magga and Phala, there is no craving for any type of world. If there's no craving to those existences, so that will be the end of suffering. That will be Nibbāna. So in Abhidhamma, we have a 4 type of planes, Kama Bhumi, or sense sphere realm, and Rupa Bhumi, 5 material realm, Arupa Bhumi, and immaterial realm, Lokottara Bhumi, and supramundane plane or realm. It's not a place to go. It is just define the place where there's no any type of craving. It's not a real place, just a metaphor, right? In Abhidhamma. Okay, any question? No question. Okay. So let's close the class. Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu sakyamuni bhagavakata jecho paragato bala vidhiya samangi tan sukatan saranathamupemi ragavi ragamanincha masokan Dhamma masangkatama patikulan Madurami mampagunan suwipatan Dhamma mimang saranathamupemi Yatha chate nama apalamahu chatusu susisu purisa yugesu taja bogala matasate Sangami mansaranathamupemi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night, everyone.